Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Austin here, and today I'm bringing you guys my Avengers Age of Ultron custom minifigure showcase video. And I've assembled 14 things for the showcase video, 12 minifigures and 2 other things, 1 big fig and 1 custom build. So we got Nick Fury, Hawkeye in the new Age of Ultron outfit, War Machine Mark II, Thor in the new, well, it's the same as the Dark World kinda, just a few differences. Captain America, new Age of Ultron outfit, Iron Man Mark 45, Black Widow in her Age of Ultron outfit, Bruce Banner in just like a lab coat, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Vision, and Ultimate Ultron, along with the Hulk and the Hulkbuster. So, yeah, the Hulkbuster, I was really inspired by a few people in particular, and I am mentioning those for sure in the Hulkbuster segment in this video. And I've literally been working on these figures until today, and I've been so caught up on working with these. I'm sorry to some of my current fans, not people who are viewing this for the first time, because they wouldn't really know about it, but if they do, I'm sorry too, that I wasn't able to get the Guardians video out, because I recently, this past week, I got really sick, and I wasn't able to do anything, like even painting. I just had a terrible upset stomach. And yeah, so I wasn't able to do any work on anything here except the Hulkbuster. So yeah, and it was basically done anyway. So yeah, also quick shout out to my friend Emmanuel Pinto, just because he printed off all of the backgrounds for me. So I'll be sure to leave a link to his channel in the description below. So thank you, Emmanuel, for printing off those backgrounds for me. And yeah, that's basically it. And let's start off the showcase video with the first Avenger himself, Captain America. Okay, and here we have Steve Rogers, the first Avenger, Captain America himself. And Captain America here is one of the few figures that I actually can compare to the official one because I have an extra one. So, yeah, as you can see, I actually did quite a bit. I painted details on the arms, legs, replaced the head entirely, and kept the hands, but yeah, so the only thing I did keep, like the only printed piece I kept was the torso. So yeah, and then the back now actually has a clip, so I actually have modified every part except the hands. So yeah, let's get started on him. So his shield is it's not the dark red, but it's just the normal red with the silver painted around it, and then a lighter blue color inside with some battle damage on it. And I'll take that off so you can just get a better look at it. Yeah, and then if I do this, not if I drop it, but I can show you with this other shield, which I made just for the movie. It's the cracked Captain America shield that Ultron cracks. Well, I assume Ultron cracks it, because that was in the trailer, so I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm seeing it today, and I'm really excited. So yeah, anyways, what that can do is it can just be stored on the back there, thanks to that clip piece. So yeah, that's what that clip piece does. And then while we're here, take a look at the arm detail. I kind of was able to get a small A on the shoulder. It just didn't turn out that well at all. So yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, and then as you can see, I got the white outlining, like the white lining there. And then on each side, because he has these on both, it's the magnetic connector thing for his shield. So he can just like summon his shield and it will go to either of those. And then for the helmet, I used the flash mask, and then I removed the lightning bolts on the side and painted it in a dark blue color, added the A, did some details on the sides and the top, and then took a Han Solo head and painted the chin strap on there, and I think that looks pretty good. And then for the legs are the simplest part of the figure. Just some simple detail on there, some black lining with some red. And then they are posable, doesn't ship. So yeah, and then there's not really much on the back except the continuation of the boots. And then he kind of does have an alternate head. If I can move this one and then throw this down on top. It's just another Han Solo head with that hairpiece. So yeah, and then I'll just throw a shield in his hand so you can just see what that looks like. There we go. So yeah. So yeah, that is Captain America, and he's also the first Avenger and the first minifigure to start off this entire showcase video. So I hope you make it through it, despite how long it's gonna be. And yeah, so now we'll go on to the next figure. And now we have the Archer for the Avengers, Hawkeye, and it was really fun making this figure. I think he was, I'm just trying to remember. So no, Iron Man was the first one I had done, I know I finished Hawkeye during the MTV Movie Awards, because during that I was working on Hawkeye, and then when the Hulkbuster scene came up, I had my Hulkbuster like 50% done, and I already had the parts on the way, and I actually got them the next day, so I was really excited about that. But anyways, that was just a fun little story. But now we'll get on to the actual figure. So yeah, so I just fixed the background there. So basically, for Hawkeye, I just took the entire normal minifigure, took off the legs, and switched them out for the original Hawkeye legs with the Death Star Trooper belt piece, and then give him a Clone Trooper waist cape painted on that. You can just see the outlining I did on it, and then it matches up to the torso piece pretty well. You can pretty much see it matches up decently. And then his bow is a custom bow, basically parts from one of these pieces, just the 1x4 rod piece, and then like the long bow and a piece of string, modified it all, and I got this. So let's try and take it off him, but it is kind of delicate, so I have to be a bit careful with it, because otherwise it could break fairly easily. Not too easy, like it's pretty structural, but just want to play it safe. So yeah, you can see that, and then the string does kind of bend. So yeah, that's that. Nothing too crazy. And then his arms are pretty much the primary piece, and his quiver. So yeah, let's get a look at his arms there. Then his quiver is just a normal Lego like backpack piece. Well, not the backpack, but like the neck brace piece with the stud on it. And then I have the stud removed, actually. Then I have it all shaved off, and then I've sanded the top so it's smoother, so he's not as tall. And then I have the bow painted, not the bow, I have the the quiver, sorry, painted onto the back there and glued on. So yeah, that's basically for Hawkeye. And then I did do a bit of then I did actually do the light flush there on the torso, and then on the head I didn't do anything super crazy, but I did do a bit of weathering, if I can just get it to focus. So yeah, and then I didn't do anything to the other side of the head, it's just the way it is. So yeah, that's Hawkeye, and obviously not the most complex figure out of the wave, but a really fun one nonetheless to make. I had a really fun time making them. And I hope you enjoy them too, because wasn't too sure how you guys would take the Clone Trooper leg thing. But yeah, like the camo waist cape thing on the Clone Trooper. Anyways, just one final look there. So yeah, that is Hawkeye, and now we'll go on to the next minifigure. Okay, now here we have War Machine, or Lieutenant James Rhodes, Tony Stark's best friend, and yeah, so I was really happy I was able to get War Machine into this video, even though it was at pretty short notice that he was going to be in the movie. But yeah, luckily I had my previous Iron Man 3 War Machine Mark II, which I actually had to adapt quite a bit because some of the details are different. So like this says ED now, and it used to say FF, and then the number in there is still the same, but I actually had to add it because I didn't have it before. Then I changed the weapon there. Before it was just one of these terrible alien defense unit guns, but now I changed it to a brick arm shotgun, and it actually looks pretty good. I think it looks kind of bad at this angle, but like there, when it's facing forward, it actually looks pretty accurate too, in my opinion. So yeah, I once again used the Amazing Armory Mark VII Iron Man armor, and painted all that. And then for the base, I used the War Machine helmet and the War Machine legs, and then the torso, but you can't really see it, so it doesn't matter. From the Extremis Seaport Battle set from like 2013, and like the Iron Man 3 wave. So yeah, anyways, let's get started. So as you can see on the top of his head, there's some detail up there, and then if we flip him around, there's a whole bunch of outlining on the helmet. And while we're back here, you can see this, which actually is where the minigun would actually like slide along this to get to each side. And there's just some additional silver plating there, along with some black outlining. And down here, some more silver leg plating. And then I'll give you a better look at the writing there. And then, if that focuses, I'll try and bring it up a bit. I don't think it's going to focus. But there's a really tiny 002 there. So yeah. Anyways, then there's some more silver plating on the front here. Some symmetrical details going on, and then we got the lines to the face mask, some arm details that are basically the same, with the exception of some of like the extinct details, like the numbers and such. And then if we do flip up the face mask, Rhodey is inside. And then his alternate face, this one didn't really come out as well as I hoped, but it still works pretty well, I think. So the Iron Man one came out much better, but for the alternate Rhodey face, I made the HUD, like his green HUD. You can see there, I got some floating up icons, and then there's the red ring around his eye for the targeting. But yeah, and then I equipped War Machine with these trans red-orange pieces, and those are the ones actually from the Ultimate Ultron official figure, but Ultimate Ultron doesn't actually, like, he just floats, he doesn't use repulsors. unlike Ultron Prime. So I decided to give him the War Machine, then giving him the traditional red. And so I thought that would be kind of cool. So yeah, that's really it for War Machine now. Let's give you one last 360 look at him. So yeah, that's basically a War Machine. Once we're done, we'll go on to the next figure. Okay, and here we have Pietro Maximoff, or Quicksilver, or aka Quicksilver, or whatever you want to do there. So for Quicksilver here, basically what I did is I took the Luke Skywalker hairpiece, because I somehow managed to go from none to having 3 in about the length of a week. As I got the Millennium Falcon for Christmas, and then I got the Advent Calendar, and then I got the Cantina, because like that's what I got for Christmas. So then I somehow got 3 all at once, basically. So I decided to use one for a figure other than Luke himself. So I used it on Quicksilver, and it actually looks really good. And the arms, basically, sorry about that. So yeah, basically this is just the official Quicksilver minifigure. I didn't like really swap out any parts. He's got the black, except for the hair, but like same head, same body. I just painted the arms, and same like black legs with like added details, obviously. So yeah. Let's start with Quicksilver here. So as you can see on his arm, there's quite a bit of detail on there with the light blue that matches on to the torso. I think it perfectly. And I actually tried making, well, actually I'll finish, do one story at a time. So the arms, I did a few different attempts. My first one was using a light blue color, like the same color as this, and then painting the dark blue on, but then that didn't work out at all. And then I'm like, no, I'll just use the normal arms and paint the light blue onto it. And I got that done the first try. I'm like, whoa, okay, that was really good. And then after that, what it is for the legs, it took me, I did 3 tries on the legs, and I went through 2 different pairs. So I started with this pair, and then they were good, and then I added the lines onto the legs, because if you see, they're actually pretty detailed. I had to do those arrows, so I had these ones done, and the first time I did the arrows, I thought they turned out perfect. Not as good as this one. Well, even better than this one, sorry. And then they scraped the belt piece. So I'm like, I'll start again. So I started doing another pair, and then those ones scraped. But then they were still a bit on this one, so I'm like, okay. So I also scraped the belt. I sanded the belt and sanded the legs more, and I got this effect. And I think he turned out really good, and still has his alternate facial expression, which I do prefer slightly. So yeah, then you can see there's some detail there on his belt piece, and the legs are obviously inspired. Well, the little part there is inspired, obviously, by the Death Star Trooper legs. And yeah. So let's give you one last 360 look on Quicksilver. He doesn't have any accessories, mainly because he doesn't really use anything, at least that I know of, in the film. And I was going to give him these just to hold in his hand, but then it felt kind of like desperate that I was just trying to put the, like, give him an accessory. So yeah, let's give you one last look at him here. So yeah, that's Quicksilver, and now we'll go on to the next minifigure. Okay, and here we have Natasha Romanoff, or the Black Widow, and yeah, so basically what I did for Black Widow here was I completed her knee pads down here, completed the belt, that her gun holster belt there, and then painted her stingers on her arm, and then the other blue thing there, and then added the light flesh just to extend the torso a little bit, and then I actually kind of dry brushed her hair in a bit of a dark red color, so it looks a bit better. And then yeah, I gave her two brick arms pistols, and then I have 2 other accessories for her. So yeah, let's go take a look at the arms right now. Actually, we'll start with the legs, and then we'll go to the arms, because the legs are pretty simple. So yeah, you can see the legs has had the simple completed shape down there, nothing too crazy going on, and then the belt is just the gray going up there. And her arms have her stingers on them with the multiple colors in there, the blues, the reds, the black, because it's all lit up. So yeah, and then her pistols just have a little bit of silver painted in there each side. And if we go ahead and remove those 2 pistols, which are from brick arms, which I've already mentioned, she has her two I guess like electro staff things. Just need to get on her other hand. There we go. Okay, so extend these out all the way. There we go. Just gotta wait for it to focus now. There we go. So you can see both of them have 3 black lines through them. They look a little uneven because the shot is a little awkward right now, but yeah, so those are made up out of modified lightsaber piece, one of these, and then modified lightsaber handles that were in black. So it's pretty self-explanatory from what you can see here. So yeah, and then her alternate face does have a bit of bit more detail on it. And I dropped the hair piece. So sorry, just 1 second here. And then there's just a look at her with her other facial expression and Captain America's shield, because it looks like she'll be using it quite a bit in the new movie. So yeah, and then as you can see, there's a bit of facial features going on. Not too much, but a bit. So yeah. So anyways, that's basically it for Black Widow. I didn't actually do anything to her back. So yeah. So that's shot of Black Widow, and now we'll move on to the next figure. Okay, and here we have the Vision. So originally for Vision, I was going to use the official Lego body and legs, but I ended up not doing that because the trailer revealed that Vision is actually dark green, and not actually the sand green color that I thought he was. So that's what I ended up doing. So the legs have some simple details on them along with the arms. And then the head and the cape are probably the most complex part. The torso is a little annoying to make. But yeah, so the cape was probably the coolest part to make. So we got lines of gold and tan and dark red in there. And as you can see, the head does go all the way around like that. And this figure is not 100% accurate, so please pardon that. He's the only one that really isn't that super accurate beside Ultimate Ultron's back. So yeah, anyways, it's pretty simple. Legs do bend without shipping. Then he has some silver on his arms. Arm design is symmetrical. Then I replaced the blue thing on his head with the yellow. So it's a lot more accurate there. And yeah, it's basically it for a Vision. There's nothing too much going on here. It's a really cool figure, but it's really simple to explain. And then there's just some golden and like kind of magenta detail like on his torso there. So yeah, that's basically it for him. And now we'll go on to the next minifigure. So yeah, now we have obviously one of the simplest figures for the showcase video, Nick Fury. So all I did was take a Han Solo torso, give it black arms, paint in the neck, paint his pistol, paint his belt, and paint the eye patch going completely around. And that's pretty much it for Nick Fury. Just wanted to have him in here because he's coming back for this, and then he's in a bit of a different costume for part of it, so I'm like, oh, might as well, I have all the parts I need. So yeah, nothing too crazy with Nick Fury. One of the more simpler figures like Bruce Banner out of the showcase video. But yeah, so that's it for Nick Fury. Nothing too crazy to say about him. But I'm really happy with the way he turned out. Pretty accurate. And then I did do actually, can't really see it, but then there was a bit of detail on the torso. So yeah, those 3 buttons there on the shirt. That's the only other thing I added. So yeah, that's it for Nick Fury. So yeah, I've said that I don't know how many times I've had to say that already, but that's finally it. And now we'll go on to the next figure. And now we have the Asgardian Avenger himself, Thor. So yeah, here's Thor. So basically what I did for him is I stuck with the original torso, modified the alternate face, and other than that, it's basically all new pieces. So I gave, oh, actually the legs are the same dark blue legs. I'll show you that after, but they are somehow, even though they look dark gray. So yeah, I'll explain that in a bit. But yeah, so Thor's hammer, I've had this, sorry. I've had Thor's hammer ever since, I think, when the Dark World came out. About a month or 2 after the Dark World came out, I did a Breakthrough Army order for some Iron Man parts. I'm like, okay, I'll buy a Thor hammer, because this one doesn't cut it even close for me. So, yeah, if I remember, I'll try and leave a link to this, where you can get this, and where you can get the Iron Man armors in the description below, because they're 2 different stores. So yeah, I'll just remove this right now, but I'll show you it. The handle is slightly, the sides of it are kind of scraped, but it's not really scraped, it's just unpainted, because that's how Thor can hold it. That's the only way, if it's in his hand. So yeah, it's not focusing on the hammer though. So yeah. And I do know its name, I just really don't want to try and pronounce it. So yeah, let's see if we can get it to focus on Thor now. There we go. So for Thor, I took normal flesh arms and added some gunmetal details onto the side. Turn his cape. So yeah, you can see his wrist guards there. They're just in a gunmetal color. And then there is actually a bit of outlining on them. This is him on both sides. And then while we're up here, let's take a look at the legs, because I had to do some insane chainmail work on here. So, yeah. And I'll flip these legs around so that you can actually see that the original color is dark blue. So, yeah. Original color for the legs and for the belt are both dark blue, which is, I don't know. I kind of forget why I did it. But I think it turned out well because it still kind of blends with the torso. So that was probably the main reason. I'm pretty sure that was the reason why I did it. And the legs actually are fully posable without any scraping. So yeah, and there's a bit of gold there, and then there is painted on the inside. And then for the hairpiece, I used Qui-Gon Jinn's hairpiece, painted in a brown color, because the other hairpiece really didn't look that good. Well, it looked good for like Avengers Thor and this like Thor 1 Thor, but this is more accurate to the Phase 2 appearance of Thor. And then for his alternate face, I battle damaged it up, like I did with most of the other Avengers. So yeah, I'll bring it closer to the camera. So yeah. Now let's grab his hammer again. So yeah. And I did find this like weird thing that came with a Yoda action figure that I had a while ago. It was when he's from Attack of the Clones, sorry. And it's when he's reflecting Count Dooku's lightning with his hand. So I kind of found that while I was cleaning up my room while making these figures. And I'm like, oh, I'll put that on Thor. It actually looks pretty cool. And you can't see it in this shot, but like you'll see it in the end of this video. You'll see that Thor is able to actually electrocute an Ultron, a sub-Ultron officer, with his lightning with this thing. So it's actually pretty cool. And it's just like a weird bendy kind of plastic. It's not like it's super sturdy or anything. But yeah, that's it for Thor. And then I forgot to mention he just does have the traditional standard Lego cape, not the new disgusting things. So yeah, that's it for Thor, and now we'll go on to the next figure in this video. Okay, and here is Wanda Maximoff, or Scarlet Witch, aka Scarlet Witch, whatever you want to say. So, yeah, basically what it is, I took the standard Scarlet Witch figure from the Hulkbuster Smash set, and fixed up the legs, didn't do anything to the torso, and I added this slight bit of detail into the eyes, replaced the arms with light flesh ones, and gave her a whole new hairpiece. So, yeah. So let's just start off with her powers here. So you can see that I just used studs to show her power, which I thought was the best way to do it, because these things right here just look god-awful and not even close to accurate with her actual character. So yeah, so let's take those off now. And while we're looking at them now, you can look at the arms here, and you can see that I have the detail on the wrists of like the actual hand, and then on the arm too, so you can see her kind of wristbands that go up all the way on each side. And then I painted the sleeves on there. And then, yeah, we'll look at the legs now. So the legs are completely painted all the way around.
you can see, and then I will go ahead and just do that so I can show you that there are the insides painted as well, like there and there. So yeah, and then also, as you can see, her head is the exact same, but the hairpiece is different, and I replaced it with, this is the standard one, and I replaced it with this one because it looks a lot more accurate. And then I painted, well, it was originally a gray one because it was from the cat lady in the Lego movie. So yeah, and then I painted it dark brown, and then the other side of the face didn't do anything about. And then I'll try and show you what I did to this one. First though, I added a bit of black around the eyes, so she looks a bit angrier. And then there's just her normal face. So yeah, that is Wanda Maximoff, or not Quicksilver, geez, that's her brother, or Scarlet Witch. So yeah, that's basically it for Scarlet Witch here, and now we'll go on to the next figure in this huge Avengers showcase video. Okay, and here we have Bruce Banner, or the Hulk, but it's not like the Hulk. It's just a normal Bruce Banner figure. So basically, when I decided to make this figure was I had an extra one of my trench coats lying around, and then I had this head from a Rebel commander. I have the torso for it right here from this Rebel commander here. I'm like, oh, it looks kind of like Bruce Banner. But it didn't really, because there was a lot of like lines on his face and stuff. So I'm like, okay. So I tried to remove some of them, and I actually was able to. So yeah, and that's how I got the head, and then the hair is a Anakin Skywalker hair piece from the Clone Wars, with a bit of painted black with a bit of gray on each side, and then torso is a printed just plaid shirt with the little bit of flesh painted in there, and then the pants are just purple with a belt buckle and the shoes painted on. And then on his tablet here he just has this analysis thing. So yeah, that's that. And then yeah, so let's actually get onto the figure. So just has a pair of white arms, and then I did paint his like his dark blue sleeve coming onto his arm, so you can see it. So like it comes out of his lab coat. And then if I just open the coat up a little bit, you can see the belt and a bit of better detail there, along with the shirt. So yeah, and then put that back, and then you can see that I got 2 lower pockets on each side, and then 1 higher one on there. And then on the side he's got all the buttons, and then just a little thing that put the button into. Ooh. So yeah, and I'll just give you a close-up look at the hair now. Focuses. Okay, there we go. So yeah. So yeah, I'll just give you one last 360 look at him there. So yeah, that is all for Bruce Banner, and quite the unexpected minifigure for this showcase video. I wasn't planning on making him, but I had all the parts, and I'm like, okay, might as well. So I threw them together pretty quickly, and I really like the result, and I hope you guys do too. So yeah, now let's go on to the next figure. Okay, and here we have basically one of the two main leaders of the Avengers, Tony Stark. So yeah, obviously Tony Stark's playing a fairly big role in this new movie. So yeah, instead of going with the Mark 43 armor, which is the one that shows up in most of the Lego sets, I decided to go with the Mark 45. And I will be making the Mark 43, for any of you wondering. It will be in the next showcase video. But I decided to go with the Mark 45 because I thought it'd be a lot more fun to do. And I was actually able to get my hands on the Mark 45 first. And it was just actually a pretty big list of things and reasons that led me to make the Mark 45 first, along with just personal desire. And so, yeah. He's got the standard Mark 45 legs with some detail on each side, and then some on the back as well. And then he's got quite a bit of detail there on the back, along with some arm detailing there, and quite a bit of torso detail, along with his arc reactor there, some silver lining there. I did paint in the eyes blue. And, yeah, so let's give you a pretty good look at some of this detail because there's just so much on this. And then I did completely outline the helmet. And then I actually added these pieces at the top there. Not pieces, but like those lines there. And then if we flip up the face mask, this one turned out a lot better than Rhodey's. The Iron Man HUD is there, so and then I did paint the neck red, as you can see, so it looks like he's more concealed in the suit. And then there is a bit more gold detail there on the actual armor piece. So then on the head you can actually see a couple icons under his eye, one by the mouth, and then the one targeting ring around his eye, and then his other facial expression is just like the normal one with some cuts on it. So yeah, there's just cuts there and then there. Yeah, and then he does come, and then like I do have obviously his repulsors. So yeah, that's basically it for Iron Man. I'm gonna put his helmet back on and then give you one last 360 look at him before we move on to the next figure. Okay, and now here we have Ultimate Ultron, and for my Ultron figure, I didn't want to do the Ultron Prime right away. I probably will do Prime, and then I'm definitely going to do Ultron Mark 1, but I wanted to not do Prime right away, so I decided to go with Ultimate Ultron. Also because I kind of like the design a bit more. It's a bit more bulkier and bigger, so with that allowed me to be able to use one of the amazing Armory Iron Man chest pieces, and if you don't know what those look like this. Plain, that's how you get them. Just plain like that. And yeah, you can get those from the Amazing Armory Bricklink page. And that's what I use for most of my Iron Man armors. I get those or some sort of breakthrough army piece. So yeah, and then the wrist pieces here and here are from Breakthrough Army, and basically those come with any Iron Man armor set. Yeah, and then the helmet piece is just the normal Ultron piece with quite a few modifications. The head is the Ultron Prime head. The legs are modified Ultron, Ultimate Ultron legs, sorry. The arms are just the normal silver color with a lot of details. And yeah, that's basically it. So I'll actually go on to the figure here. So yeah, I'll try to do my best to explain what I did for the legs. So yeah, the legs actually aren't the normal height, and they aren't Woody legs. So just 1 second here. Here's the normal height for legs. As you can see, these are about 1 plate taller, and that's actually because they are. So what I did is I took a plate, like just a 1x1 plate like this, glued it to the bottom, removed the toe piece on the leg, and then glued it to the bottom, and it gave that result. So you can just see the comparison there. So yeah, and then I'll go ahead and I'll also remove the chest piece in a bit to show you the arm detail. But yeah, when I turn this around, you can see all the detail on the legs and everywhere. The legs are fully posable still too. And then remove the head piece here. You can see that it's the Ultron Prime head underneath. And then while we're at it, I'll just quickly remove the armor piece. So yeah, as you can see, there's quite a bit of arm detail without the torso piece, and if you give you a closer look of that, and it is symmetrical on both arms. There. And then here is the torso piece. Just goes on like this. Then here is the head. And the eyes are a little off. Hold on 1 second. Now that's probably the hardest part about these Ultron figures with these big helmets, because the eyes, if they're just the slightest bit off, they're kind of really annoying. So yeah, you can just see all the outlining I did there. And all the extra silver I added so that it matches up with the rest of the figure. So yeah, that's basically it for Ultron here. Nothing really too much else to say. Let's give you one last 360 look at him. So yeah, that is Ultron, and now we'll move on to the next thing in the showcase video.
Okay, and here we have Hulk's, and Hulk's a really simple figure. I just took the normal one, did a couple rounds of dry brushes in black on him, added the veins on there in green, and that's basically it. And then let's throw him up compared to Nick Fury for height there, and then we'll throw him up to Ultron. So yeah, he can still like hold figures in his hands. And yeah, he's just a really simple character. Like, not a simple character, he's like one of the most complex characters, but he's a really simple figure to make. So yeah, that's it for Hulk. And yeah, so there wasn't really much I could actually do. I was originally going to change the pants, but I decided to keep them the same. So yeah, that's it for Hulk. And now we'll go on to the Hulkbuster. Okay, and now we have the Hulkbuster suit. And if we take a standard Hulk figure, throw it up aside, it's pretty accurate in scale. It's not entirely perfect. It's slightly taller than it should be, but then again,
Hulk is kind of like slouched over. So yeah, anyways, um, yeah, so this was inspired by a few things. One, Lego Holics Rhino, as you can see, they're kind of the same scale there. And then it was also heavily inspired by Funny Stuff's Hulkbuster on Flickr, and I will make sure to leave a link to his Hulkbuster below because it was the main inspiration for the legs here, like the feet, and then this front piece here, like the chest piece here. So yeah, we'll start off with the feet, I guess. Well, actually, there's like ball joints here, 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 and here. So that's 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 more. So there's 8 points of articulation, I guess. Yeah. So, and then like the fingers and everything. But yeah. So everything is completely posable. You can like have it so he's shooting the hand, but I'll show that later. But we'll start off with the legs. So you can see that he's got the arc reactors on both sides there, and then he's got the repulsors in there. There's some gold detail along the side. As we work up to the torso piece, which has the primary arc reactor, along with some more gold detail in there, and some just others like light bluish gray pieces up in there, and then this gold piece which runs back to the top, and then the arms are completely symmetrical. So they have this kind of cannon here, which the Hulkbuster does use in the movie. It was shown in the Hulkbuster clip. He kind of like flicks his arm out, and then there's like a blue kind of cannon. So that's why I put that like the trans 1x2 blue plate in there. So yeah, and then underneath, that's just what it looks like. And if we open up the hand, you are able to see that there is the repulsor inside. So yeah, and then the fingers made up of these pieces, and then one of these in dark red. So you fold that back in, and that's just what the shoulder pads look like. So this is probably the best part about it. Well, actually, I'll show you the back first. So the back has like 6 more arc reactors, and then 2 here, and then the 4 in there. So yeah. And then this is obviously the best part about the Hulkbuster. You're able to flip it up here and then lower this down, and you can fit any of my Iron Man minifigures in here, including ones with like custom armor pieces, which is what I was primarily going for here. And then on the inside, I'll just pop this off for a second. You can see this gamma radiation detected. Then there's a little Hulk there, and this is just the cut up sticker from the Hulk Lab Smash set. So yeah, I pop that back on there, and then it just flips up like this, and then I can put I have the Mark 42 in here because it looks like the Mark 43, and then I can put my Mark 45 figure in there, and you don't have to actually pull this down to see it, but you can if you want. Makes it a bit easier. So yeah, and then the face dome, the only thing I painted was lighter blue eyes in the face dome. So yeah, that's it for the Hulkbuster. Let's throw him up beside the Hulk again for scale. So yeah, thank you for watching this bit. Now I'll just go on and conclude the video. Thank you guys so much for watching this showcase video on my custom Age of Ultron minifigures. If you did enjoy it, and if you're new, please rate, comment, subscribe. Well, if you're like a returning member, obviously, rating all that stuff. And if you're new, please subscribe. So yeah, I have to make this really quick so I can upload on time so I can still go to the movie. Yeah, so descriptions will all be below. I'm not sure if I'll have time to do them though. Don't think I will because I have to go right now, but when I get home I will have all the description up. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye.